Good evening. Welcome to the Auburn Board of Health meeting. Today is Monday, November 18th, 2013, and it is 6 p.m. on the dot. First, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and secondly, publicly, I want to announce we have a new Director of Public Health. We have Darlene Coyle, who is our new Director, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
That's right. Congratulations. Thank you.
That's all I can say. Welcome. Ha ha ha. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the agenda? Add or remove any items?
I don't.
No.
Ray,
Do you have something?
Yeah, for emergency planning, I'm just going to have a couple of things. So instead of no updates.
You have an A and B?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give us the titles, or are you just going to do it when we get there?
Sure. The Region 2 representative letter,
Okay. Rep letter.
and then the satellite phone.
All right, excellent. Okay, at this point in time, we have a bill schedule. We have a few items on here. We have our public health nurse. We have creative services, which is creative services.
I think those are the
Our
stickers.
stickers
vinyl
for
stickers.
for
Trucks
next year.
for next year's trucks. Excellent.
Yep, we have
Yeah.
received them.
Commonwealth of Mass licensure
Yes.
for Darlene. And then we have the detail for the flu clinic I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we just have a few small items.
Some of the supplies that we had
Reimbursement.
for the flu clinic.
Okay. So let's take a look at that. And we have no minutes to approve today.
Do you want us to sign?
Oh no, not till we vote.
Okay, good.
We have to get a motion to vote for that first.
Shall.
Is that a motion?
No?
Oh, I thought I heard you say something.
It will be in about 30 seconds,
Yeah.
right?
Is there a copy of this? Must be a copy. 70840, 7875, okay.
They usually send two bills.
Mhm.
But it's the same bill, it's not,
Yeah.
okay. Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Aye, 3-0 to accept the bill schedule as presented. We'll all sign. Okay, while we're signing, we can move right into old business. First item is programs, goals, and objectives. First one is prescription take-back program.
Yes, so the prescription take-back program, I have an update for you. So as you know, Andy was working very hard on this program to get it off the ground. As you may recall, we do have the unit that we have received.
Mhm.
So that unit is going to be moved down to the police station, hopefully in the next week or two. We have purchased that unit through a grant from the Chamber of Commerce, and they had a breakfast earlier last week, actually. And we gave them the update as to what the program is going to be. I have corresponded with the Chief of Police, Chief Slucas, to take the next step now to get it into the police station, and they are working out the details as to where, and obviously the unit has to be under surveillance. We want it to be available to the public, but we also want it to be safe and secure. So they are working out the details as to where that is going to be located specifically. That will be moved down to the police lobby, and from that point we'll be able to roll it out to the public. So I just wanted to let you know that's going to be happening soon, and I'll keep you informed as to when we'll be able to officially do a press release on it.
How was it received at the breakfast? When you talked
Thrilled.
about it, they were?
Yeah,
Good.
they were so thrilled, and really, I explained how we have received so many calls, you know, all the
This week,
time.
Today alone, 3.
Yeah. Oh,
It's-
believe me, I'm cleaning out a medicine cabinet right now,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of stuff to go.
So I mean, you know, it meets a huge need, and that was the goal of them making a donation. It was something that Andy and I both were so excited about when we got the money from them, and it was my understanding, I didn't realize it was the very first year that they did that. So they had a health and business expo, and the members of the chamber decided that they wanted to do something for the community to meet a community need. So that was, I mean, it's a huge community need.
Yep.
Obviously, there's the DEA has the take back days. You know, they used to do them once a year. Now sometimes they do them twice a year.
Yep.
This is going to give people year-round availability to get rid of meds out of the medicine cabinet, but more so to try to combat a problem with youth having access to prescriptions. So I'll let you know, I'm pretty excited to hopefully we can get this up and going, you know, before the holidays. So
Andy had talked about getting one of our stickers on the side of it for the Board of Health. I think we were going to put, I think it's in the police station, so we weren't going to need a sticker. Do we want to put a Chamber of Commerce, since they donated the funds, if they have a sticker that we can put on there
sure,
with it?
I think that's
I think it gets them involved, us involved, and I think that's, and not to, but this is a way to keep them working with us.
Yeah.
If we can get stuff out there that's going to help the community and the Chamber of Commerce is happy with it, it's going to help them work with us in the future too. So I don't know if, because Andy had talked about putting one of our stickers on there, but I'm thinking now maybe we should see if the Chamber of Commerce would like to put something on there
Sure.
too, because it came through with their grant. So I want to make sure that, you know, they get credit for that too.
I'll see if they have a logo that maybe
Yeah.
we can have affixed to the unit, you know,
Yeah.
in coordination with,
Yeah.
you know, the Board of Health and really the police station.
police station,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, because it's everybody kind of working together to make it happen. And as we move forward, the unit, once it will be checked, you know, on a regular basis, and as it gets full, we're going to, you know, empty it out and bring it to
Wheelabrator.
it to be incinerated. So it's really a number of community organizations and town entity working to make it happen. So it's great.
Yeah, that would be great once it gets in place. I think it's going to be really nice. Okay, Household Hazardous Waste Day.
Okay, so for this, I'm so pleased to tell you that the town meeting that was held recently, they did approve funding for the Household Hazardous Waste Day that we are intending on having in the spring. As you know, we have these every 2 years. We had such a huge success, you know, last time, obviously, you know that, with everybody, all
We
hands
do.
on deck.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to start the planning, you know, for the springtime event and kind of set the day, the date, and get, you know, basically whoever we are going to choose as a
Vendor.
disposal company, and then there's other pieces of that. There's some new things that maybe I'd like to try to introduce as well, and maybe we can see, you know, what you think of those things. So that is, that planning will start, I'm sure, right after the holiday.
Anything else under that?
No, I think that should
Okay.
be about it.
Flu 2013-14.
Okay, so for flu, I have a lot of things that I'm happy to tell you. We have had 3 clinics so far. We had, as you remember, a senior clinic, we had an town employee clinic, and we also had a general public flu clinic. With all those 3 clinics, we've done nearly 300 vaccines. So we're at 293, and we are still have a need. We still have people calling. We have like a little waiting list that we've kind of put together, and we're thrilled that people are still interested in getting a flu shot. Obviously, the flu season, I don't think really has kicked in too much, but with the holidays coming up and everybody getting together, you know, germs out there are going to be spreading quickly. So that's why we felt it was important to, as soon as we got the vaccine, we kind of started planning right away. So we have nearly 300 vaccines that have been given to date. I also wanted to let you know, from all those clinics, we were able to, and this was a big thing, we got assistance from a senior volunteer that was able to help get all the flu billing together, and actually it's been out. So I can't tell you, that was such a big job, and I needed a lot of help with it. And we had, you know, tremendous help from the nursing staff that was at the clinics to help organize and sort the different paperwork that needed to be gone through. And then we had a senior volunteer kind of pull it all together, and we met the 30-day deadline. So it was actually literally 30 days, 1 month ago today is when we started our clinics. So to be able to do all those shots and to get all the paperwork and out, we've gone through a big hurdle. So we're doing very well on that.
What percentage would you say we were able to bill for?
I actually won't know until they start sending them back.
Okay.
So
I know in the past we've been around 40 to 60 depending.
oh, okay.
So we've
Yeah.
had some good chances. That's how we keep our revolving account going. So.
Yep. I will be able to give you information probably, you know, once they start sending back. And I'm not sure, Paula, you might know, how long does it usually take for that to start coming back? Do you recall?
Couple months.
Okay.
So we'll know maybe in January, which is fine.
Yeah, January,
Yeah.
February.
That's fine.
And one other item on the flu kind of season, because we still have the need, I wanted to see if the board would be amenable to having another clinic, but this one I wanted to propose to you because it's actually something fairly new, and we haven't done it before. But we have, the town has a first annual holiday craft fair that's going to be held at the high school. It's the first time that the Auburn Rec and Culture Department is actually doing it. Last year we had, we tried something new as well. Andy and I did a flu clinic at one of the holiday fairs. And this one actually is going to be offered by the town. So what I wanted to see is if you would be open to us trying a flu clinic at that fair. It kind of gives us the chance to, you know, again, offer, yeah, absolutely, another town service at this craft fair. It will be held at the high school, so there's plenty of parking. My understanding in speaking with the director, Ms. Pappas, she already has quite a number of vendors that are already committed for this craft fair, and in speaking with her, she does still have room that we could set up.
So Kristen's fine with us coming in and doing something.
Is.
That's great.
Yeah, so she was very open, and you know, we're very appreciative to have that. But I figured since it was kind of a town offered craft fair, that maybe it might be something that we could offer another layer of service for town residents to, and it gives us also 2 weeks before kind of a holiday to, you know, have the vaccine become effective and so forth. So it gives us kind of that time to also work with that.
Now,
So
are they setting up in the gym?
they're actually going to be in the cafeteria
Okay.
Which is
area.
better.
So it's
Yeah.
you know, ground
Much
level.
better.
Yep.
We haven't worked out exact details because obviously I wanted to run it by you first. But if you are open to that, that's something that I'll work with Kristen in the planning to be able to see if we can have like a spot there, somewhere visual, you know, not to impose upon the vendors, but at least we're there, and if people are shopping, you know, and they haven't gotten a shot, it gives us a chance to vaccinate.
It's
However
easy
many.
access too,
Yeah.
because we've done clinics there before.
Right.
And
So-
yeah, like with the voting, we had it down the hallway, so we weren't we couldn't be right in there. We had it down the hallway. So
Right.
the way the cafeteria is set up, they have that back hallway, and then they have the hallway to the right towards the office.
Yep.
So I don't know if you want to be right in the middle of everything, or if you want to kind of be off to the side but still visible. That hey, do your shopping, come over here, get your shots when
Right.
you're done or something.
And that's,
so.
it's funny, I was thinking the same thing, so if they're able to have, you know how you come in the main entrance, the office is on the right, if you go straight ahead, in years past, I think Andy has had,
That's our
two shots in
room.
the
Yep.
presentation room.
Yep.
But that area
I'm figuring
is
they're
kind
gonna
of
put stuff
like,
there.
well, I don't know,
Oh, okay.
they may not have used that, so we
Okay.
might be able to kind of
Go back,
have
yeah.
that space, and people are familiar with that, so
Yeah.
they might, you know, say, oh,
Yeah.
that's right, they do the flu
Mhm.
shots there. So I kind of wanted to build upon what you've done in the past and maybe try something new for the
That's good.
future.
I found when I brought to vote last year,
Mhm.
we had my daughter with us.
Mm-hmm.
The sign in the main lobby where we went in to vote
Yep.
was like, you guys, it was down the hall,
Yep,
out of sight.
yeah,
But that one sign, it's like, that's all it took.
Yeah.
that's nice.
So,
Yeah. That's great.
We
That
did-
sandwich board sign
Yeah.
you're talking,
Yeah.
yeah, that big one,
yeah.
and
that's all
I
you need.
used
You
that,
could have it.
yeah.
You could have it in the far corner in the preschool area.
Because people
You
see
know,
it and they want it, they're going to ask somebody,
they gotta-
where is it?
Well,
Yeah.
big sign with an arrow. So
Yeah.
I think we don't have to be in a kiosk right in the middle of the
Exactly.
place,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but just a sandwich sign saying flu shots available.
Well, stop by.
And I found
They
that was very.
actually-
I found
Yeah.
that was very effective when I
And we
came
did
up
a
to
good
vote
amount
with
at
the
that.
family.
We
We
really
did a
did.
lot.
We had for vote and vax, that was,
Yeah.
you know, again, the first time we did that, and it worked really well. So I will definitely utilize that sign
Yeah.
again, because it seems to, that is a good use of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That equipment, I use it a lot, and I have help
worked.
moving it.
It's a
So
great one.
Mhm.
if you, like I said, if you're open to that, I'd like to try it and,
Yeah.
and just, you know,
Cut me in.
okay.
I'll do it.
Fabulous.
I have to check on the chain of lights and see when that is and Sutton. If as long as it's not the same day, I'll be in
Okay.
because I have to do chain of lights for Cheryl.
I
So
know I have obligations that day.
okay, so are we all set with flu 2013-14?
Yep, so that, I will move forward with the planning for that, and, I'll count you in, Marion, and we'll see if we can get, a
Definitely,
couple
yeah.
other nurses, that'd be great.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break from old business, and we have a 6:15 hearing. It is now 6:17, so I'd like to open the hearing for 26 Winchester Avenue, the Graham residence, for a trash abatement request. Are any parties involved here for that? No.
Actually, Ray, if I could, Mary Oliver from
Mhm.
the assessor's office is actually here,
Okay.
for this.
Okay.
Oh, excellent. If you want to come up and have a seat, that'd be great. Thank you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open up the evidentiary part of the hearing. And Darlene, since you received the packet, if you could start with that first, and then we'll go to the assessor's office.
Sure. So, we received a, request for an abatement, for, trash service from, Spencer and Kathleen Graham, from 5 Windsor Ave, Auburn, Mass, for the property that they own at 26 Winchester Avenue. They have received a bill, that was sent out by the town, and, forgive me, let me just check here. I believe it was in the range of, okay, so it's for $380. So they received this bill. They are requesting a abatement for this bill because they are stating that they have received trash pickup from another company. Now, in your packet, hopefully you have what we also received from Pratt. The Pratt Group is a trash hauler that states that they were providing dumpster service to the property at, well, among other properties that Mr. Graham owns, also at 26 Winchester Ave. So you have that as part of your packet. Also included in your packet are correspondence that went back and forth from the assessor's office to Mr. and Mrs. Graham regarding the trash pickup. I have invited Mary Oliver from the Assessors Department to come and just be able to answer specific questions for you regarding this abatement, because we want to make sure that you understand what the service that Mr. and Mrs. Graham are being billed for, and why the town feels that they owe that to the town.
Okay.
So, Mary, if you wouldn't mind, can you tell or explain to the board the service and how we came to that amount?
Okay. Basically, the chain of events took place back on August 29th. I got a letter from, an email from Allied Waste asking if we were on town services for 26 Winchester. Okay, upon review, I went into the file, and they were not on our service as being billed. I did respond to ask them, have you been picking up the trash all along? And they said, yes, every week they've been picking up the trash. So basically what I did is, upon review, Mr. Graham, I believe, he used to own the Central Mass trash, and it was sold to Allied Waste back in February of 2012. And what happened was, I believe back in the day when he owned it, the service was all connected. So he didn't have to pay for the service, because that was probably one of his perks for owning the company.
Yeah.
So once it was sold, it was never come to us, and whether they had the trash service or not. But Allied Waste has come to us and said, yes, we pick it up. We've been picking it up every week on a regular basis. So at that point in time, August 30th, I did send a letter. I don't know if you have a copy of that letter, to the Grahams, stating that I had reviewed their account and they had not been paying for services as of from February 29th up until through December 31st. So that they were going to be getting a bill for $380 for the services there. And I guess that's when he sent stating that he did not have our services, but there was never a stop service on there, and as far as I was concerned, we were picking them up. They should be billed for those months. And that's basically.
And then, as far as the on your abatement request, if somebody is receiving an alternate trash service pickup, we have basically an alternative solid waste disposal form that they're required to file.
To file, yes. So they would fill that out and state to us where they were having their trash removed from. But I believe it, when the building was, when it was sold over to Allied, there was nothing ever filed stating that they were sending it to someone else, and we were never made, so we were made aware that they are having their trash service picked up every week.
So we as the town did not receive an alternative solid waste disposal form?
No.
Okay.
Any more evidence to be given on either side? Will we go into question and answer period with the members?
I think with you have the abatement request, you have the copy of the bill from the town and the statement that was sent to Mr. Graham. We do have the statement from Pratt stating that they were picking up. However, I think a key part of this is because we don't have the solid waste disposal alternative form, that's the piece that I believe is missing. And just to be clear, we didn't receive it at the Board of Health either, Paula, to your knowledge. Okay.
It always goes to them.
It goes to the assessor's office.
Right, and then we would cancel. So we did not get that. And just to bring you up to date, that property was just recently sold, and there were containers there still at the property when the new customers just signed up for it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. At this point, I will take a motion to close the evidentiary part of the hearing.
I make that motion.
And second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to close the evidentiary. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we are into discussion. Couple questions. I know they sent us a bill from Pratt, and it says, it has his name, 26 Winchester Ave. It says for service at 200 Bryn Mawr Ave. So this bill does not tell me they did anything at Winchester, which is the one that's in question right now, which is part of the ones that's in question.
This is the only property in question, right? The 26
26,
Winchester.
yes,
Yes.
that's
26,
correct.
yes.
But I look
For
at it,
curbside
they,
pickup.
yeah,
Yes.
they have their bill here, and they
Yes,
look
it's
at it.
specific
It's a
to-
roll-off.
I saw that too.
So-
For 200 Bryn Mawr.
Yeah. So I mean, that's. I know they sent us to us, but this doesn't have anything to do with 26 Winchester. So I don't.
I agree.
And if somebody was putting out the trash bins and they were being picked up, they were being put out. I know Pratt has their own labeled Pratt. They don't use the same waste containers that we do. So if somebody was putting them out there, it was being picked up by the town.
And it would have to be on the specific day they go down
Exactly.
that road.
Which I believe, if it's Winchester Ave, I believe it's Thursdays.
So it would have to be out there every day.
Because I know Central Street is Thursdays, this whole neighborhood is Thursday, so I'm pretty sure it's Thursday. I don't know when Pratt picks up. I'd love to know. I'd love to call Pratt and say, what day do you pick up? They say Tuesdays, and they were putting it out on Thursdays. Then they knew it was being picked up by somebody else. Not saying they were trying to put one over in the town, but I don't know, if I had a place and they were picking up my trash, I'd just kind of keep putting it out until someone told me no.
Right. And we have had others that we found that, they had slipped through the cracks in the billing
Yep.
cycle, and I do have, I found 12 of them that hadn't been billed for 4 years, and we sent them out those extra billings because, and you know what, they had the service, but
Yep.
they're not gonna come running to me and say, I'm getting free service.
No.
So, and I do have two other ones that are going out that I found, that hadn't been billed. So now everybody's gonna get billed, but they're getting bills for like $300 to $400 come January, and they've been notified.
Yeah.
So
And that's-
we've got, anybody that hadn't been billed is,
Have they paid for it?
the other
Any
12,
payment at all?
the other 12 have already paid those. I haven't sent the new bills out in January for those two other ones that are gonna get billed at $400, so,
So it was, we didn't know they were not getting paid, not getting picked up. You got a call from Allied, because they were picking up and it probably wasn't on their roll, so they wanted to see if it was on your roll, see if it wasn't on either, and they were getting free pickup. Everybody else in town has to pay for their trash. I pay for my trash, you pay for your trash, you pay for yours, you pay for yours. My opinion is, if the trash was being picked up by our provider, they have to pay our provider. I don't know how you feel on that. I know in the past we have abated a few, but these billings do not tell me that there was anything going on at that property. Questions, concerns?
The totes being used on pickup day were the town contractor totes.
yes, they were the same totes that the town
They
has.
weren't Pratt totes.
They were not, they were the same totes that everybody has been using, even when it went from Central.
And the house was
down.
occupied.
Yes, they just sold the house to a new,
Oh,
it's just recently been sold.
So,
And I believe that Mr. Graham did indicate something in some of his correspondence about the toters. Let me just make sure you understand what he is stating.
I think he was stating that he owned them.
Yeah. In the email that he has from September 3rd, 2013, at the end, not sure if a stop needs to be filed, so a stop order. There should have never been a start in the first place. Technically, the totes I have are the original prototypes we were given as samples by our manufacturer.
But the whole thing is, if they're putting them out at the end of the driveway on the day that trash is being picked up by the town trash hauler, they're expecting to get picked up. Whether it was purposely done or not, I don't know. I can't answer that question, but it was being collected. It's kind of like convoluted because he sent us all the information for all 3 properties, and there's only one property that's, I don't know if they tried to dump all the extra information on us, because even the emails, they talk about 5 Winchester, and or 5 Windsor, and they talk about 200 Bryn Mawr, but there really isn't much except, see, this is Bryn Mawr Ave. I don't know why we have that one. This one's Bryn Mawr Ave.
I made a packet of what Mr. and Mrs. Graham had sent,
Mhm.
so that's
And-
that packet.
Oh, I understand
Okay.
that, but those aren't the ones that are in, it's kind of like they sent everything, and some of the information just makes no sense. It says they never filed for property at 26 Winchester, and this one's taken care of. That one was taken care of. There's no billing from Pratt on that one address. If I would have saw a bill from Pratt, then I would have felt a little differently, but I did not see a bill from Pratt on that property. It says never utilized or authorized any uses of town provided services, never started. If they're putting out the trash bins, they were utilizing town service. I have to take Allied at their word that they were picking up. They called you.
Yeah,
and said-
they literally, I mean, I had no idea, and
Yep.
I get the emails every now, Mary, could you check on this, Mary,
Yep.
could you check on that? And vice versa, I go back and forth with them, you know, what size toters do you actually have on that property and things like that. So out of, you know, just out of the operations manager, I said, you know, find out if they're actually paying for this service. So.
And I know earlier this year we had a few that we had to send out because they were getting charged for small toters and they had large toters. So it happens.
Yeah, it does.
You know, things are gonna move around until we get this thing straightened out the way we want it and able to get everything running the right way. We're gonna have those little happenstances, and you know, but they were being put out. The totals were being put out in there. It's not like the driver. I know these drivers. They do not get out of their truck and go to the end of your driveway and take them from behind your car because I've forgotten to put it out a couple times. They don't do it for me, so and my driveway isn't that long, so I don't know if the driver is just, if they're at the end of the driveway, they're utilizing services. That's the way I feel about
Especially
it.
on the same day.
Exactly.
So.
And they're not labeled Pratt, and whether they're the prototypes that he received when, you know, the company, when he owned the company and they received those prototypes.
Central Mass.
Central Mass.
Did they change the toters?
No, they're still
When
Central Mass toters, but Allied bought out
Okay.
Central Mass, so they keep.
Which
So it's
included
the
all
same.
the.
all
Mine
the-
still say Central
Okay.
Mass.
Yeah, mine says
Even the truck,
CMD.
and the truck still.
And
sitting.
yeah, half the trucks
Yeah,
still say
I'm like,
CMD
okay,
on them.
okay.
So you're putting in Pratt. If you have services from Pratt or Laterno or any of those others, they have their own toters, and it's not a huge charge. They don't. A lot of times they may charge you $25 for the toter, if that. But if they're getting your trash, they're not going to send you. I just don't see Pratt picking up a CMD toter.
No.
So.
Nor do I see
Yeah.
Allied picking up a Pratt toter.
Because if it was at the end of the driveway and they saw a Pratt toter, they'd be like, no, and they drive right by. So they're putting a CMD or Central Mass or Allied, whatever you want to call it, at the end of their driveway. Services are being picked up. It was being picked up by the town. Allied has accounting. They check, make sure that they're doing all the ones they're supposed to. The driver probably said, geez, this doesn't look right, made a phone call, and that's how you got on that.
Well, I think it's also important too, I mean, going forward, because, you know, obviously there are some things that you're going to find through the process. In order for somebody to apply for this abatement, the time that you put this abatement in and we receive it, basically you have to have some sort of alternative disposal, and you have had to submit that to the town so that we know effective this date, you have an alternative trash disposal. That's how it works, correct?
That's correct.
And
I
it's
wanna
supposed to
know-
be prior to the billing going out.
Right. So you'd have to, you know, if you wanted alternative trash company to pick up, that's fine, but you identify that company and you give the town proof that you have a contract with another company by, you know,
Yep.
submitting that documentation. That kind of protects everybody so that everybody's aware.
Right.
Yep.
And there's been no complaints from neighbors on trash building up in the property, dumpsters hanging out in the driveway for months on end.
Not to my knowledge.
So we're just looking at a toter being pulled to the street curb.
And being picked up by one company and they're saying they're paying another
Okay.
company.
Okay.
So, any comments from the members? Opinions? Thoughts? Okay. We ready to close the hearing and go forward with a motion? Or motion to close the hearing and then go forward with a motion?
Move to
Or,
close.
excuse me?
I move to close.
I do too.
Second?
Second.
So we have a motion to close the meeting with a second. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0 to close the hearing. Now, at this point, do we have a motion on the table for what to do with the request for trash abatement?
Make a motion to decline the request for abatement for the bill as submitted
$380.
of $380 to cover the time period of, if I can find this again,
That'd be February 29th.
February 29th, 2012 to December 31st, 2013
Okay. Do we have a second?
on
Aye.
26 Winchester Ave.
Thank you.
Correct, I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and it is a roll call vote. Steve, how do you vote?
Aye.
Marion, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ray votes aye, so it's 3-0 to deny the request for abatement. And they do have, there is an option for them later to, don't they, if we deny a request, they can come before us, or they can, there's something that goes on. Andy says it every time, and I have to make sure I say it, so. If we deny the request for abatement, they can further, and I don't know how Andy always puts it. Every time we deny one, he always makes sure he says on camera that they do have the opportunity to
Appeal.
appeal. Yes, thank you. Appeal.
Okay.
I think the appeal, well, I'll check that.
That goes to the courts, that doesn't even.
I
Yeah.
believe, I
Yeah.
believe it goes to the
Yeah.
courts, not
Right.
But
here.
Andy always, every time we deny something, he
Yeah.
always makes sure he says that
That's right.
it has to be in the note, in our minutes, that they do have the ability to appeal through the courts. So, at this time, the hearing is closed. And thank you very much for your help.
Thank you for your
Thank
Thank
time.
you
you.
very much.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary, see ya.
Okay.
So next time I want you to have your legal cue cards handy, so.
I know, I'm like,
Now, why would a person do that anyway?
yeah.
uh,
Okay, let's see.
1D is where we gotta go back to.
Yes, we're gonna go back to that.
mhm.
So we're gonna do the follow-up from our public hearing on October 21st, 2013. That was the regulations
Yes.
for food code.
So, what we wanted to do is just, we probably should have had, the formal signatures on that day, but.
We hadn't voted it in, so we couldn't sign it. Yeah.
Maybe at the end.
Okay.
So, but quite honestly, because we had to make changes,
Mhm.
we have amended it. I know Andy actually went through and amended this, after the meeting. So
Mhm.
this is the revised copy with the changes that the board had recommended. So this is the, copy for you to sign. You voted it on the 21st.
Yes, we did.
But this is the amended copy. So we're gonna have you just do your formal signatures on there, and then the next step will be that we advertise it in the paper.
We also send it to DEP.
In Mass Department of Public Health.
There you go.
So I guess unless we had a laptop that we were doing it right then and there, we couldn't just.
Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't do
print it
that.
off. So this makes sense.
Because I think we said
to-
about signing, and Andy said he didn't want us to sign till after it was completed.
Oh, okay,
So
no
I
problem.
think that's what was
Okay.
said that night.
All right,
Because I know we voted on it, but I think
Yeah.
he said, okay, then you'll come and sign. So
okay,
That's how Andy rolls.
No, that's fine, I just
Yep.
getting caught up, so.
Yep. All right, excellent. Anything else from the follow-up on that? It's just the signatures.
So just the signatures for that. Paula has already updated the fee schedule, so we have
Excellent.
the most recent date on our fee schedule.
Good.
And what we'll do is we'll take this now, we'll do a advertisement in the paper, and I'll make sure that we bring that to you. And we're moving forward. That was a huge accomplishment.
Okay. Emergency planning.
Okay, so emergency planning, we have a letter here as a follow-up. I think Andy may have mentioned this to you at the last meeting or thereabouts. As to, as you're aware, we belong to a public health coalition, Region 2, and they have representatives from each town that attend these meetings. Andy obviously was the representative, and you know, he's recommended me to now be the town's representative with your approval.
And I believe on that day on the 21st, we did talk about, I was supposed to come in and sign, and then everything hit the fan, so.
Yep, no problem.
So this is, to Paula or to you?
Yep,
Alright.
Paula will mail that.
Okay.
So it's, again, just a letter if you wanna see. It's just, as the representative,
Says
I'll
Darlene's the rep.
attend the meetings, and we bring the information back to you.
Okay.
And they're usually monthly meetings. Thanks, Paula.
All right, and the sat phone?
Okay, so the satellite phone, we have a satellite phone, and in speaking with Andy about some of the things to make sure we have seamless transition. We have a satellite phone that has been assigned to us from Region 2, and we have, I know Andy was used to receiving tests on it, and I believe they do the tests monthly. We have a representative from Region 2 that's coming out to just get me up to speed and show me how we utilize the phone in case of an emergency. So I'll have that knowledge just to be able to move forward, to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
All right, new business, director's issues, correspondence. There wasn't a lot coming out to us today.
Nope.
I got the animal permit, and then we have the packet. That's all I received.
Right, so
So-
there's not a lot of correspondence.
We like that.
Just to kind of keep you updated. I did want to let you know just of some things that have happened since our last meeting. We have, as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, the Chamber of Commerce was so generous in giving us a $1,000 donation last year, and we were able to get this program that we're going to be looking to get off the ground very soon. I am so thrilled to tell you that at the meeting last week, when we provided the update on this upcoming prescription take-back, they have given us another $1,000 grant to the Board of Health, and can't thank them enough for what they see
Right.
us doing as
Absolutely.
something positive for the community. They again wanted to make sure that they're able to give this money so that we can meet a need in the community. So you know, once we get this program off and running, we'll you know, kind of talk as a board as to where you want to move forward with this money, and I can bring some ideas and so forth.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But really very generous, very, very generous, and I just wanted to, you know, let you know that I was I was pretty surprised and pretty excited, you know, to be able to attend. They invited us to their meeting.
That's great.
So to the board from the chamber, we have another $1,000.
Excellent.
So I'm very excited about it. So
No,
thank
that's
you very
great.
much.
I mean, they're seeing what we're doing here. If we can find another thing that we're because I think we were going back and forth for a while what we were going to do with the money. I mean, we got it last year at about this time.
Exactly.
And we were talking about it before Christmas, and this was something that was on the back burner. Matt had brought up, and we had kind of, you know, he wanted to start it. He had started the ball rolling with the police department, and then it kind of stalled out when he left, that February that he left. And then, you know, so then in November when we would get the money for it and the money came in, we kind of pushed it back to the forefront and said, hey, let's see what we can do here. And then we found these online. I actually went to Holden, saw the one in Holden, saw the one in Millbury, took pictures, showed it to Andy. He went online and found them and got a great deal. And the good thing is, I don't think it's going to cost us a lot right now to get it started because Wheelabrator is helping us out, the police department and us working together. So now we can find something else we can use that extra new $1,000 for, and find another program that we can, you know, come up with some ideas. I mean, if you have time before the holidays, if not, we can put it off till January, but come up with some ideas that you want to see. I know that we had some money. We bought some of the red boxes and we were selling those. And I think, you know, we're using the money from those red boxes to buy more red boxes for the shops. So that's that program's working well. If we can find something else that, you know, you haven't been on the board, you know, you've been on the board for a few months, there may be something that we haven't done that you may come up with. Mary and I, we're kind of, we've kind of whipped on that. We've come up with so many ideas that we wanted to do. We've redone all the regulations we wanted to do. So now if you have something, or if Darlene has something, because you've been working in other towns, you may see something that we're not doing that other towns have done.
2 new ideas.
Yep, so we can have you guys throw some stuff and maybe refresh us a little bit. But no, that's great. That's amazing. Let's keep pairing up with the Chamber of Commerce, and let's keep working with them, because it's only going to help us go further and, you know, help them help the community. So, but thank you for all the work on that, and thank you for being our contact with them. And perfect.
So, additionally, this past weekend, I had the great fortune to attend a school event that they had, I think it was maybe a first of its kind. They did a roadmap, like World Cafe. It was an event to invite people from all across the community and town officials from all different walks of life, including teachers, administrators, health, community members, religious organizations, town officials. It was a really, really great event. It was basically to kind of discuss how we as the town of Auburn can better prepare our students going forward into the world. So what things that we can offer, not just school things, but to make them better prepared for life. And it was pretty nice to be able to kind of collaborate. They had tables set up, round tables set up with, again, a cross section of people from all. We had teachers, we had rec and culture, we had health, we had moms, we had students. It was really very cool type of event to be at. So we saw a lot of common themes from this particular event. Pretty much everybody's in agreement that they want kids to get a great education, but they want them to be good people. They want them to be able to get out into the world and be able to take care of themselves and be financially, fiscally, educationally responsible. So it was a great event. So I'm sure you'll see some great ideas coming forth from Mary Ellen Brunel and the school administration on that. Additionally, I don't know if this is the place to bring it up, but I also wanted to let you know, this past week, Mass Department of Public Health had a regional dialogue, and it was a chance for the new public health commissioner to come out to the different regions across Massachusetts. I think ours was the very first one that she gave a talk at. And it was basically her introduction to Central Mass, to let everybody know what types of programs and what focus that they're going to have in the coming year. I'm pleased to tell you that they have created basically an office for local public health. And it really gives us that chance to be able to be connected. You know, anytime we have something that kind of stumps us, we pick up the phone and call, you know, MDPH, but this actually will give us our own department to be able to correspond with and, you know, to bounce ideas off of, to try to get information.
That's
And
good.
it's really a great
Support.
support system. Yeah, good word. So that was one of the big things that came about from that. And I think I think that's pretty much my update from that area.
Animal issues?
Animal issues, we have some, as you know, the renewals are going to be going out on everything, including the animal permits. We're going to be taking a look at what we have for animal permits and look at what the requirements are for this type of year. I know animal inspections get done by the animal inspector. So we're looking at what the renewals are and what's involved in that. So we'll be able to hopefully bring you some information. Additionally, I have met with the animal control officer and animal inspector and had some discussions about updating our animal forms, and I think you know, getting our paperwork so that we're all kind of on the same page about animal requirements and making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Quick, is that the bond book then?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we do have.
Is Megan Pike doing the bond book this year?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, Megan Pike is our animal inspector, and I believe all the animal inspections get done this time of year. And then that book will be sent to Department of Agriculture.
We don't get to see the book.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh, no.
That's a state secret.
Yeah.
I know every year we're talking about the bond book, but we don't get to see the bond book. But
Yeah.
I mean, as long as everything's getting done, I'm happy with that.
And I can certainly, have, you know, information on that once she's done with her inspections, to kind of be able to maybe give us some information as to, you know, if she has any issues or everything goes as planned, or
Yep.
if we need to look at anything.
Excellent. Solid waste.
So solid waste, I wanted to give you an update on this topic. We have every year, as you know, we do the truck stickers for trash haulers, any offensive material haulers, our rendering company haulers. So those are done yearly. In the past, we've done them, you know, anywhere between now and kind of the holiday in December. But we wanted to kind of get out in front of it, just because we're, you know, it's just myself right now. So we want to get a jump on it. Paula was very good at getting the stickers in, so we already actually have the stickers. So I scheduled 2 dates to get the majority of the stickers done. We actually have this Friday we're going to be doing, so it's going to be 11/22, and then we're also going to be doing the following Monday, 11/25. And I'm trying something again, just to try to make it easier for everybody. We're going to do our normal times in the morning. So we're going to do some, I think it's, 9 to 12, Paula?
9 to 12,
And then
yeah.
on Monday, we're going to do an afternoon run.
Yeah,
So
2 to
from
4.
2 to 4.
Okay.
So we're going to try to, you know, meet the needs of our, you know, our businesses by offering 2 different times. We are going to be doing it down at the highway yard again, and that's worked out for us well in the past. So I just wanted to let you know that's coming up. Hopefully we get a good jump on it, because as soon as December hits, it seems like we're running around for all different things. So we wanted to kind of get out in front of it.
Okay. Now, my question for you is, you've been our person on the solid waste committee.
Yes.
Now that you stepped into this position, are you going to have time for that?
Those meetings typically are in the evening.
I understand that, but you're already doing more than. I'm just saying, is it going to create an issue for you with everything else? Is it going to be too much? Do we need to put somebody else in that position, or are you looking for help on that? Let us know.
Okay.
We can see what we can do. If they are in the evenings and they're only once a month, I may be able to step in for you if you can't make it, or one of us can step into the meeting. I don't want to get overwhelmed. You are by yourself. We have a lot going on, and I don't want you to burn out too. I know you don't burn out. You burn the candle at 5 ends, not 2 ends. So I just want to make sure that if you're running tight, you do reach out to the board. We will. I know I'll step in if it's available for me to come out, and if the meeting's at 6 o'clock, I can get out of work. I get out of work at 5. I can be here in town by 6. So if there's a time that you need help, just please ask the board. We don't want you to burn out or anything like that. We don't want you to go spastic on us. Why do you think Andy let you do that? He didn't want to do it. So
I think you knew I like recycling.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I understand that, and I want you to be our key person, but if there's any time that you can't make a meeting, please reach out to the board. One of us will try and step up and help you out there so you're not killing yourself. Okay?
I appreciate
Because you
that.
have the flu clinics coming up, and we're going to have all this other stuff you're planning, and it's just going to pull you in 27 different directions, so I want to make sure you're all set.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much. We do have, those meetings are typically, usually, I think, monthly.
Okay.
So it's once a month. I can certainly keep you informed.
Yep.
Because we are a liaison, it's the committee that
Yes.
makes the decisions.
Yeah, but we're there just to give input if they ask.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. So it's not all on, all on
No.
us. But
I
we
understand,
do
but it's just that
provide-
extra hour and a half a month that, you're putting out, and I want to make sure that you're doing, you're focused. I mean, you are focused, I understand that, but I don't want you to be pulled in too many different directions and stress yourself out. So,
Okay.
all right, anything else on solid waste?
Nope, I think that's about it on that.
All right, inspections, I know you're by yourself, so I know production isn't, where we all want it to be, but
Right.
I understand that, so do you have any percentages for us?
I don't have any
Okay.
percentages today.
Okay.
I can tell you that we are pretty much getting a lot of plans right now.
Mhm.
We have the Outback, proposed Outback
Yeah.
has come in.
Good.
We have 2 other facilities, convenience stores that you may have seen that I'm working with currently to get them open. We've been working very closely with them. They're going through the process with selectmen in our office, building department. So we're trying to work through that. So I have 2 facilities that I'm trying to get open right now. We also had Hickory Farms at the mall, seasonal facility.
Oh, yeah.
We got them open last week. And we have another facility, Anytime Fitness, that's going to be opening soon.
Saw them tearing apart the building and everything,
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice building. So we are pretty much hands full with a lot of questions and a lot of guidance for our new establishments. So hopefully that will be able to I'll be able to report back and let you know where we're at with those. But again, the 2 convenience stores, I do expect them to be open in the very near future. So we'll get information on that. Nuisance complaints, we have received, we continue to receive nuisance complaints that we respond to, for a number of different variety, housing, food, trash.
Now, who's doing that for you?
I'm doing that.
You're doing it?
She's
Yes.
doing everything. My question is, have you approached anybody about getting a part-time inspector or a full-time inspector? Are they looking into that right now?
They
or-
are,
Okay.
yep, they're actively looking into that.
Good.
And I'll be able to probably give you an update at our next meeting.
Okay.
But the town has been very active about, trying to get the wheels for that moving, and, I'll let you know as soon as I have information.
I know in the past, we could get money from the coalition. If you were going to meetings, they had put aside money for different towns. Have we looked into applying for any of that money so we can get a contractor or anybody or a part-time to help out while we're waiting for a full-time inspector?
I haven't looked into
Okay.
that, and one thing that I do recall, I know during one of the emergencies, I think it was H1N1, that they were able to request money for that.
Yep.
I don't believe that you can just request money
Okay.
for a contractor
Okay.
any longer. They did that for extenuating circumstances.
Yep.
Because that was an emergency, pandemic at that time. So in the past, I do agree,
Yeah.
I actually, had that program previously as well.
Okay.
But they don't.
I just know with a town this large and all the events we have and everything, if we don't
Yeah.
get somebody in the next 2 to 3 months, you're gonna be behind the 8 ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
And
want that
plus,
to
I mean,
happen.
we also do have our temporaries that,
Yeah.
we're doing in between.
Mhm.
So the temporaries do take, take time as well,
Yeah,
just to
so-
explain. And that was one of the, I think one of the goals that you wanted when I first came was to make sure that we were paying attention to all the temporaries that were
Yep.
going on. I think that we've gotten a much better handle
Mhm.
on that, and we are, I think people more so will call the office, and, I think Paula can kind of echo this, that people are actually calling now to say, hey, I have this event, this is what I'm thinking, do I need a permit for that? Whereas before, I can say for the most part, last year at this time, I think I was doing more so of the calling to saying, hey, this is what the requirement is, let me explain why. So I think we've had a big turn,
Shift.
towards something positive,
Okay.
So hopefully that's what, you hear as well out there, but, with that, and this might be a good time to just let you know, it was something that we got a call recently on for somebody that has a temporary event that is going to be applying. Obviously, our fee is $50 for a temporary event. As we discussed at our meeting, if they're a nonprofit and they can provide their certificate, that waives the fee. But if they don't have something, a certificate of exemption, that's something that, if somebody has a problem with that fee, I have referred people to, we can't waive any fees without the board,
Yeah.
being aware of that. So you might see that in the future, if somebody doesn't have certificate of exemption, they may, come before the board. But as with any fee, all those, any waiver, such as an abatement of any sort, would come through the board.
Okay. No donuts yet in the mall?
I have never seen a donut. No, I know you keep talking about these donuts.
They were awesome. They showed us everything. They were great, good to go, and then they never came into town. We approved them and everything. I want my mini donuts.
Why don't you open a little kiosk down there?
No, then I'd have to deal with the Board of Health here.
That's right, that's right.
I heard this.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to deal with the board.
I've already done that. You see, they tore down my restaurant.
I
Yeah.
They
know.
buried my dad. They tore down the
I
restaurant.
know
Yep.
that. I
What a
know
great
that.
tribute that was. Okay, so it looks like under inspections, we covered everything.
New establishments?
New establishment, she kind of mentioned the
Yeah.
Outback deal and
Yeah.
the two
Okay.
other convenience stores. Communicable disease, any open cases? This is for my nurses on the board. I just kind of passed that on. Okay,
So that report was provided by Cheryl, our public health nurse.
10, 16.
It was still warm.
I know it.
No, they'll run all year long.
Yep. And that's why I leave that to you guys.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Any
We're all set?
questions or concerns?
No.
General
No.
questions or
No.
concerns? Okay, at this time, before we go on to the next meeting, I'm just going to open up. Any comments from any of our visitors tonight?
I just, something that she mentioned is I was here for a waiver for the fee
Oh, okay.
for an application for a temporary.
So are you
I'm
Claire?
Yes.
Oh, hi Claire.
Claire, hi.
Please join us.
Yes. I saw her sitting there. I didn't know when to ask if she needed
I
anything,
didn't know
but
when to say
I
anything,
actually
so I
haven't.
just
Hi, I'm Darlene.
Hi,
Nice to meet you face to face.
And thank
Claire
you for your
and
help
Paula.
today. Yes, thank you.
So
Claire, what is your last name?
Boschetto, Boschetto.
So I actually received a call
Okay.
from Claire today,
Okay.
and I told her about the fee.
Mhm.
She is a nonprofit
Okay.
and intends to have an event upcoming, and explained the situation. Any fees or fee waivers, I told her that would need to go to the board. I said, ironically, we are having a board meeting tonight, so you're more than welcome, although we don't have it on the specific agenda. This is, something that I felt that she could come as citizen comment if she so chose.
only thing, we can't vote on it tonight.
Correct.
But we can hear all the information, and if it's something, we can put it on the next meeting, when we schedule the next meeting, and we can vote on it then, hopefully. When is your event supposed to be?
It's actually at the craft fair. Kristen Pappas has actually invited us to be the concession stand
And that's the 14th?
at the December 14th, correct?
So
Yes,
so we
Saturday.
have a meeting on the 9th.
Oh.
Well, that's one of our regular schedule will be the 9th, so, if you're comfortable with that, we can vote on it
Fine.
then, we can hear all the information tonight, we just,
Sure.
because you're not on the
Oh, no, I
agenda,
totally
we can't
understand.
vote
Yeah.
on it
Yeah.
tonight, but,
Absolutely.
alright, so, why don't you hit us?
Okay.
Tell us what you
So
got.
like I said, Kristen Pappas approached me. I'm actually president of FAME, which is Friends of Auburn Music Education.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of like the booster club for the music department. Same as the sports have boosters, the music department has a booster club. And we're basically wanting to do this concession stand, which I just found out from Kristen, like you guys mentioned earlier. She's actually got like over 30 vendors, which I was really surprised and excited to hear. But I asked the school if we could use a nonprofit number so that we could waive the fee, and I was told no. And basically, this money is used for students in the music department, whether it be for their trips, their competitions. We've purchased instruments for the music department here in the Auburn Public Schools. So all the money is going right back to the students and staff here in the town. And we just feel like $50 is really going to cut into, I don't know how much to expect. It's the first craft fair ever, so if we walk out of there with maybe $200 profit, I'm thinking that's a good day. I don't really know, but $50 is kind of a big chunk of that,
Okay.
and that's where I'm coming from. And so I did write this up. I don't know if you need me to read it or if you guys just want to have it.
How do you feel?
What is the concession stand? What are you doing at the concession stand?
We're just going to be selling like chips and candy bars and drinks and everything at the craft fair. So
Yeah.
we're going to be the only supplier of food.
All prepackaged food?
Pretty much all prepackaged. I did talk to Darlene a little bit about maybe doing crock pots with commercially made meatballs like we would buy like from Sam's or BJ's and put in a crock pot that morning at the site and things like that. But we haven't specifically done it.
Offering. I do believe that there will probably be a mix of prepackaged and food service. It sounds like she is amenable to, following the prepackaged,
Commercially prepared or-
pre-made
yeah.
food that's, you'd get at BJ's, prepared on site. So it's not something that is going to be done in anybody's home or anything to that sort. It would be prepared on site under a temporary food permit.
Okay.
But again, in explaining to her
Okay.
nonprofit status, that's what,
Okay.
the organizations that we've done a waiver in the past have had some sort of nonprofit status. And I have checked, I think you had some questions about some other clubs. We have, at this time, probably last year, there was, according to our fee schedule, a discounted rate of, I think it was $10, Paula? So they would have paid $10 in the past. When it came to our attention that nonprofits were specifically waived under Mass General Law, and we brought that to the board's attention, at that point, we did not charge any longer a fee, when the board moved towards that waiver, as long as people are able to provide for that organization a certificate of exemption.
But you don't have any such certificate for your group?
Not for my particular group, no. No, we raise such little bit of money, and I've talked to people that have gone through the whole process of getting that nonprofit status, that it just seemed like it would be really overwhelming for our little tiny group to have to go through all of that, and dealing with it, within the school system. We thought that we would be able to get, a little bit of help, or I don't know exactly the words to use, but, we thought that we were here helping and volunteering to help the school system and stuff. So unfortunately, they have, rules and regulations they obviously have to follow that I need to.
Yeah, schools are not allowed
obviously,
to,
so.
only the person who holds the exemption can use it. They
Okay.
can't, if they
Right.
give it out to somebody else, they can lose the exemption.
Right.
Them being a
Sure.
school may be a little more difficult because
Right.
they are what they are, but
Right.
I've seen it in the past in other school systems. They try to use it, nobody allows it.
Yeah,
So,
no, I totally respect that,
Um,
obviously.
do you have anybody ServSafe certified in your group, allergen, anything
Not
like
that I am aware of, but I have not asked yet. Like I said, I just had this
Okay.
conversation on the
No,
phone
that's
today,
fine.
so definitely we'll reach out a little
Yeah.
bit more and find out some more information.
Okay.
I
How
mean,
many
I did
members
work
are
the
in your
food
group?
service. Technically, I'm president. I don't have a board under me. I've been doing this for about eight years or more now. Every year I start an organizational meeting at the beginning of the year. I put it out there, and I had 3 people show up the beginning of this year to do it. So I kind of pull from parents, here and there, whoever's willing to help me with whatever function we might be doing. But it's not like a set
Okay.
standard of people. It changes every year and whatnot. So I've kind of been the steady in the whole thing.
Okay.
The good thing is, I think, Marion, you might remember, but Steve, you weren't on the board yet. The Board of Health paid for Kristen to get her ServSafe certification.
Okay.
So Kristen is allowed, if she runs an event,
Mm-hmm.
if she is going to be on site during the whole thing, to be the ServSafe person if she does not have more than I think we said 3 or 4 booths. So if you're the only food vendor, we can speak with Kristen
Okay.
and have her be your go-to person for ServSafe.
Okay. Great.
But we have to make sure she's okay with it,
course.
and she usually
Yeah.
is, because she is. That's
Right.
why we paid for her to do that.
Right.
Because of small places like you who don't have that.
Okay.
That was one of the things. The board itself, we paid the bill, I believe, right? We paid the bill for Kristen to get her ServSafe certification, so that's good.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about some pre-packaged food, which is great. Chips always go well.
Right.
Hot chocolate goes
Right.
well. Stuff like
Coffee,
that. You may want to look into hot dogs.
Okay.
Because hot dogs are non-PHF, because
Okay.
they can be, they're not a potentially hazardous food.
Okay.
And if that's all you were serving, you wouldn't need to serve safe anyways, because
Okay.
it's not covered under that anyways. A lot of
Okay.
places can do that. So that being said, I lost my train of thought, but any comments from the members? Anything you want to say?
No.
Steve, anything, any suggestions?
No.
Or
Like I said, I obviously know we have to
This is the
submit the
planning
menu
stages,
and
so,
everything,
yeah.
and get it approved, and find out what we can and
Yep.
can't do. I know that we can't prepare food at home and bring it in. I totally respect that. I've worked in the food industry myself in bakeries before, so I'm a little bit aware. I never did this serve safe, but so I'm well aware of some of the
So we'll-
restrictions and things like that.
we can make sure Kristen is available to be your ServSafe go-to person.
Great.
At the event. That was why we paid for her to get it, is
Sure.
because we wanted her, because she had a lot of events with a lot of smaller vendors,
Yeah.
and somebody who's just doing baked goods or something, they're not going to go out and get ServSafe certified.
Right.
So she became the ServSafe person for all her events.
Nice.
But if she has a huge event when we have 10 or 12 people coming in,
that's different.
then she doesn't step
Right.
up for that. So if you're the only vendor, if it's okay with you,
I'll definitely check with Christine.
yeah, if it's
see
okay
she's
with you
available.
being the inspector and everything at that point, if it's okay with you, that's why we paid for it for Kristen, was so these small organizations don't have to spend the $185 to get ServSafe certified, because then there goes your profit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, so thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I will check with Kristen. I know this is a big event for her, so just to make sure she's comfortable with it.
And-
Right, we're putting that on her plate as well,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah. And in the meantime, I'll ask my parents and people
See if
involved as
anybody
well,
is-
see if there's somebody else
It's
might
always
be,
nice
you
to
never
have a
know.
secondary person,
Oh,
just in
absolutely.
case.
Actually, I'm looking at my church, actually, was gonna hopefully send me as well at some point, so
So-
hopefully that'll work out too,
Oh, good.
so.
And just to let you know, the allergen one is $10 online, and it's good for
Okay.
5 years.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's something personal you can do at home
Nice.
on the computer. It's nice to have, and for any other events you have, you'll have it already, and then you can
Okay.
just worry about the ServSafe later if that's
Right.
something you want to look into if the church is going
Okay.
to. But if you can throw $10 in your credit card, it's not bad to have
Yeah.
for yourself,
Okay.
anyways.
Great,
Um,
and where online do I go for that?
So I can.
She'll
Okay,
give,
great.
Donna will give the
Wonderful.
information.
Okay,
absolutely.
I think
Great.
it's AHEC. I think that's who
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
used, but it's a simple. It's videos. It's by the state. I think Suffolk University is the one that came up with the videos and everything. But it's a good little thing. It throws out some information there you may not have known, and it kind of helps out a little bit. So
Okay, wonderful.
it's not a bad little thing to have. All right.
And I had
Thank
it
you.
in writing here, she said you needed it in
Yes,
writing.
if you
so-
want,
very
if we'll
much.
have
You're very
that,
welcome.
and
I have
then
more copies if you need more than one, I don't know if it matters.
it's up to you because I was going to have her make copies and give it to us at the next meeting because
Okay.
you know if you want to give them to Paula, will you hold on to the next meeting, or do you want to give them to Darlene? We'll let Darlene hold on to them, and she can pass them on to you if she like.
So what I would have, if it's okay with you, Ray, I would, obviously we'll retain this, document that you were here at the meeting, and then once you figure out what the menu is and so
Right.
forth,
Absolutely.
we'll put this request for the fee waiver with your
With the
application
application?
and
Okay.
menu.
All right.
Okay?
Wonderful.
And then the board can decide on what
Yep.
they want to do with the fee.
And do
Okay.
I need to be present at the next meeting for that vote?
I do not, unless you have anything else you want to put in front of us. But if the letter suffices and the application and the menus here,
Okay.
we can do it without you. It's your call. If it's your call.
I work in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Not that I
So-
can't come, I just
Yeah.
want to know what the,
You
you
have
know,
the
if I
right-
needed
you
to
have
be.
the right to be here.
Yes, you have the right to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Open
If-
invitation.
If you're not here and
Yeah.
you think this letter will suffice to what you want to say,
Okay.
then you're perfectly fine because you gave us what your background is, what you want to do, and you know we'll take a
Okay.
refresher next time we meet because
Sure.
I'm not going to remember.
No. I know what I was
Darlene will.
She
I
will.
won't remember.
She will.
But yeah, if you have the background and you think that letter says everything you want it to say,
Okay.
then I think we'll be fine.
So the next meeting is planned for December 9th?
December 9th, well, we haven't set
I
the
haven't
meeting
voted
yet,
on
but
it,
we
okay.
had either the 2nd or the 9th, depending on what everybody votes for.
Okay.
At the end of the meeting, we're gonna set up, so either way, we have at least one meeting before
Okay.
the event.
All right.
And
I'll check
before
it
then,
out
we'll
when
talk
the
with
meeting was.
Kristen and everybody else who is involved and make sure we're good to go.
Great. Wonderful.
All right?
All right. Thank
Well,
you so
thank
much
you for
your
coming in.
time.
I'm glad I asked if there was anybody else.
Can you just put your phone number
Oh,
on
sure.
there?
Absolutely.
That'd
Can
be
I
great.
borrow a pen? Yeah.
Okay, so if this time, oh jeez, who did that? Did you do the agenda or did this one do it? Because someone's getting to be like Andy and skipping numbers. We went from 5 to 7. So,
That was 6.
Oh, that's
okay, we'll count that one as 6 then. That works. Okay, next meeting, we have, regular schedule will be the 9th and the 23rd.
What are you talking about? This 5, 6, 7.
Look at the bottom. It goes communicable diseases 5, and the next thing is 7. Oh, you're talking, all right, yeah,
Thank you.
undergearing.
For coming tonight.
You know,
So just look at the numbers, okay?
will you just get with the program, right?
I'm asking a question of my board members, so
He's
shush.
good. He's good. He's
Um,
really good tonight.
What do we? What works for everybody? We have the 2nd and we have the 9th and the 23rd is one option, or the 2nd and 16th into the 30th is the other option. If we
Those
did
are
3,
off weeks, yeah.
those are off weeks. So, are we looking to do something on the 9th, which would be the 2nd Monday of the month, or do we want to go with the 1st Monday of the month?
Are you gonna have 2 meetings?
I would.
December?
I think 2 in
I thought we were
December,
doing second and fourth, but,
and that would be the 9th and the 23rd.
right.
So yeah, that's what I thought we were doing too. But
Right.
there's just options there because the 23rd is close to Christmas.
Very
Sometimes
True.
Very
So-
close to Christmas.
tell you what,
Cindy will be
check
around.
your work schedule.
I don't have it yet.
Oh, okay.
So, I did ask for the 9th and the 23rd off.
If you've already asked for that, let's go with the 9th.
That's not a
then.
guarantee.
And
They
the
gave it to
23rd?
me, but
Huh?
What about Santa?
Santa comes on the 24th at night.
I know.
What we can always do is sometimes, and this will be up to Darlene, if we get everything caught up in December and there's not anything pressing, we can always table the last meeting of the month and then meet in January.
Yeah.
We've tabled a lot of meetings when there's not a lot going on, and with everything else going on with the holidays, we're gonna have that flu clinic on the 14th.
Right.
So we could, we may end up tabling it. Or we could go 9 and the week later, the 16th, if we need to meet. But if we don't, we can do 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we only did 1 in the month of November.
we could do the 30th.
Yeah, we could always go the 9th and the 30th if we need to.
So
What is-
So let's set up the 9th.
we'll do the 9th.
Let's do
All
the
right, we'll do
9th.
the 9th.
And then on the 9th, we can figure out if we're going to meet on the 23rd or the 30th or if we're going to table the meeting.
Okay.
I think that works for everybody as long as we get 1 meeting in. And if Darlene has something that she really needs to get in front of us, then we can set up a second meeting.
Okay, good.
Okay? At this point in time, if there's nothing else, Darlene, anything else
No,
for
I
us?
think that should do it.
All right. Richard, anything for us?
No, thank you.
Okay. So at this point in time, I will take a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. That is a vote, 3-0. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.